がここにいるうちの本物のスクールスポーツのために行こうぜベイビーバンこの国は気をつけて、現実になることがありますからね。
Alright, so we're going to go ahead and continue the long-standing tradition of covering Japanese boxing here in America. True School Sports, the #1 source for Japanese boxing in the USA. Arigato gozaimasu and ayete yokata. Nice to see you again to all the Japanese out there. Thank you guys for tuning in. Now, in this video, I wanted to discuss Naoya Inoue because I had this thought. And I was talking about it with my good buddy Talkers on Twitter. Shout out to Talkers, Andrew Talkley, good guy, smart, insightful boxing mind. I was talking about it with him, and everyone's talking about Inoue versus Junto, and they should talk about Inoue versus Junto Nakatani because it's a great fight between two Japanese fighters dominating the sport on the pound-for-pound list. I'm talking about it a lot, right? So people should talk about it, but there's a fight, ladies and gentlemen, that is a bigger matchup than that. It would trump Inoue versus Junto. And that fight, that matchup is Naoya Inoue versus Japanese kickboxing legend and newfound bantamweight boxing contender Tenshin Nasukawa. This fight, ladies and gentlemen, would be 100 times bigger than Junto Nakatani. Because speaking as somebody I've been to Japan twice. I went in 2023, spent like a month and a half in 2023. And from November of 2024 to February 2nd of this year, I was in Japan, right? So we're talking about 4.5 to 5 months in Japan, and I've been all over Japan. I've been to Tokyo, Kyoto, Nagoya, Yokohama, Takamatsu. Shout out to Takamatsu. All over Japan, right? I can't even remember all the places I've been to in Japan. That's how much it is. And I talked to so many people in the boxing community. I talked to so many fans of boxing and non-fans of boxing. I'll tell you guys this. Tenshin Nasukawa, he's very mainstream in Japan. I don't know, and I don't think he's as popular as Inoue anymore. But I'll tell you this. When I went to Japan in 2023, he was more popular than Inoue. I think Inoue just recently passed him in popularity. And I think Inoue's fight against Louis Neri in the commercial success that was in the Tokyo Dome, that's what put him over Tenshin, in my opinion. But even if he is more popular than Tenshin, I don't think it's by like this massive margin like it is with Junto. And with Junto, he's a very good fighter, and I think everyone in Japan should know who he is, and they will one day. But right now, Junto is really only known amongst the hardcore purists of boxing fans over there. Just being honest. So if Inoue were to fight Tenshin, that would get people talking a lot more on the streets than Inoue versus Junto. As great of a fight as that is, that's just the truth. And the way I see it is Junto and Tenshin are almost damn near in the same boat, in the sense of the fact that they're both in the bantamweight division, and if they wanted to pursue an Inoue fight, they would have to move up from bantamweight to super bantamweight. Now, of course, Junto is a 3-division champion. Junto is regarded by many as the best bantamweight in boxing today. He still has to prove that. I feel he shouldn't just be given that. He has to go. He should have to fight not just one, but at least 2 unification fights against the likes of, Ryosuke Nishida and Seiya Tsutsumi to prove that. That's my opinion, but that probably won't happen. Tenshin has never won a world title in boxing, but when you look at the growth of his career, Tenshin don't even got, what is he, like 5-0, 6-0, and he's already beaten legitimate, fighters like Jonathan Rodriguez and Jason Maloney. I mean, those are legitimate fighters. Maloney being a guy that's won a world title in the weight class and had only lost to, really Inoue before he lost to Tenshin. And Jonathan Rodriguez is responsible for retiring Cal Yafai and is, a solid fringe contender, So to have those kind of wins on your resume, less than 10 fights into your career, it speaks to the growth of Tenshin Nasukawa. It speaks to how fast he picks up boxing, and he's very crafty in that. He don't look like he doesn't fight like a guy with 6 fights. He's slick. He's got the slickness to him. He's got this confidence about him that he fights with. And I'll tell you this: his next fight, he's expected to face the WBO champion, presumably Yoshiki Takei. I actually think he'll beat Yoshiki Takei. I think Yoshiki Takei is a little overrated, to be honest with you. He gets all this hype I don't know why. He's a kickboxer, I guess, too, like Tenshin was. But I think Tenshin, when I watched them both fight, I think Tenshin is a better boxer than him. And I think he's a more well-conditioned fighter than he is as well. So I think Tenshin will beat him. And I'll tell you this, if Tenshin Nasukawa gets his hands on a world title in his, 7th or 8th fight, or whatever it's going to be for him, he's now a legitimate world champion. So now I think that would give the fine folks of Ohashi Promotions, Mr. Honda, and the decision makers of Japanese boxing, that would actually give them an interesting thought that now they could match the monster with Tenshin Nasukawa at 122, and now you have not just a big fight, but you have a mega event in Japan, honestly, because Tenshin is a Japanese kickboxing legend. He's got a really how do I say this, electric personality. He's a very outgoing person. You know, a lot of Japanese fighters, they're very like reserved. They put on the straight, a certain face. They don't talk a lot. They adhere to the humble ways of Japanese culture, which I respect. But Tenshin is not like that. Tenshin talks a lot more. Tenshin, he's just more out there. He's a talkative person. He's a people person. He's just kind of like from what I've seen him talk, he's a free spirit. And he's, in my eyes, he has developed into a top contender. And he's about to become a world champion. So there's going to be some real interesting, if he gets his hands on this belt, I think there's going to be some real interesting discussions had behind closed doors about a potential Inoue versus Tenshin fight, because there's, in my opinion, the fight that would make more money in Japan and the fight that would actually be bigger in Japan would be Inoue versus Tenshin. Now, obviously, the Japanese don't think like us Americans. I'm thinking like an American right now. They're very much about like the respect and the honor and the legacy of the sport. All that stuff. So they may this video just might be wasting my breath, and they probably just do Junto versus Inoue. But this is a thought that I really do have, because the dominoes and the pieces are in place to where if Tenshin becomes a world champion, he has enough of a fan base and enough of a presence in Japanese boxing and in just Japan in general as an athlete to command a Naoya Inoue fight. And being that Junto and him are on the same weight class, it's the same scenario. Both got to hold the 122 to go fight Inoue. So maybe that happens. Maybe even it sets up a scenario where Junto could fight Tenshin in a unification fight. Yeah, and then maybe the winner of that could fight Inoue. I think that would actually probably be the most fair thing you could do, is have Junto fight Tenshin if he wins the belt in a unification fight, and then the winner of that could fight Inoue. Yeah, you know what? Let's go with that. I like that idea more. But either way, I just think Tenshin isn't out of the realm of possibilities of an Inoue opponent. And I say all this to also say that I have fully prepared myself, because Inoue is going to have not just this option, but with Junto, but also Tenshin, that he may never come to featherweight. He may just fight Nick Ball, grab a quick belt, and just stay down there. He won't want to go fight the 6'1" Gargoyle Espinoza or any of the other guys. He may just find enough competition at 122 and put the finishing touches on what's been a good career there. Who knows? But I'm just thinking out loud. Let me know what you guys think. What do you guys think about the possibility of Naoya Inoue versus Tenshin Nasukawa? And for the Japanese out there, how big of a fight do you guys think that would be in Japan? Leave your comments down below. Make sure you guys take the time to subscribe. And like I say in every single one of these videos, you could love me or you could hate me. But I'm just a kid from Daniel. So until next time, take care, guys. Thank you for watching another video on the untouchable True School Sports Empire. For more great boxing content just like this, make sure you click right over here.